Hello everyone, I am the virtual zookeeper, and today we will be starting a new Planet Zoo series about an African zoo. Now, this channel actually has a pretty funny history. Before, when I first made this channel, I was thinking about setting off and becoming a great Planet Zoo YouTuber, you know, like The Lady Designer or Simply Savannah or those kinds of YouTubers. But I kind of lost motivation in making videos, and I just stopped and didn't even bother editing the videos I recorded, so the channel just sat there rotting away in history. And then when I rediscovered it again, I decided I'm gonna use a fresh new ideas. So I don't actually really like the African style of Planet Zoo, but I had to use it anyway because a lot of the animals that I was going to add to my zoo were African animals, so I had to use that. And as you can see me here, I'm adding rock work to the buildings. So the reason why I'm using rock work is I saw a Lady Designer a zoo tour, and one of the zoos had rock work on them that's covering all the facilities with rocks, so the ugly outside part wouldn't show. You know, those weird stripy parts. I hate them. I really dislike them, so I tried my best to cover them up. And I don't want to use any presets that are already built in there because that's what noobs do. When I first started out doing Planet Zoo, I didn't even know a thing about building, so I just used the preset ones and built boring habitats made with boring materials. And that's kind of what my brother does. Yeah, he plays Planet Zoo, but he's not very good at it because he's more of a Kerbal Space Program person. So, if you can see this previous sand line, I'm sorry for that. I was actually working on the pathing earlier, but it didn't really go as planned, so I just had to delete it and start all over again, which I did. And right now I'm looking for the best small animal to fit, and I chose Aardvarks because they're small. They're the only grassland animal, in fact, that is small if you're just using a small amount of packs. Even though this is an African zoo, I actually don't have the Africa pack. I really should, but I mean I'm on a budget right now. So right now I'm making a rockwork frame of the viewing area. There's gonna be 3, and the entire habitat isn't gonna be made of rocks, but some of it will have wooden fences, which it actually looks like one of Simply Savannah's videos. She made a spectacle caiman habitat, and one of them had a wooden fence that I really like, so I took inspiration for that. So right now I'm starting to finish the viewing area, and I'm trying to look for wood on the construction, but I couldn't find one that's very well, so I actually went to the enrichment part of wood because for some reason the logs there are so much more cleaner and better, in my opinion anyway. So here I am building the fence. The fence doesn't actually have a viewing part, so it's just gonna be blank like that. The viewing part is the rockwork part, if you didn't know. And it's actually kind of funny for me looking at this speed build of me building the habitat because all the staff are just zooming around like ants. It's actually kind of cute. And here I am trying to collect every single rock. I missed one, but I didn't really notice it, and it didn't really change that much, so I just duplicated it and added there because I'm too lazy to add another one. Hooray. So I'm almost done with the wooden fence, and I just need to add another viewing area and finish it up with some finishing touches of rock. Now, right now, I'm trying to cover up the most of the enrichment because the base game parts are quite boring in my opinion, so I want to cover them up with as much rock work and plants as possible. I'm going to delete a few rocks because for some reason the aardvarks were not using it that much. So I think it's because the rocks were covering up some. So here I am adding drin grass. So I've watched a whole bunch of other YouTubers speed building, and I realized a lot of what they do is they grab the plants and grass and they kind of dip it in below. So and for some reason it just looks better. And here I am transporting the aardvarks back and adding the education boards. Speaking of aardvark education, I actually have a couple facts pulled up. Aardvarks are found in a wide variety of habitats in the sub-Saharan Africa, which is part of Africa below the Saharan desert. They favor areas with ample supplies of ants and termites, such as savannas, grasslands, and woodlands, and bushland that tend to avoid rocky or swamp areas, as they are less suited to digging. Aardvarks are very nocturnal, sleeping in underground burrows during the day and coming out at night to feed. When breeding, burrows can be extensive networks of over 10 meters in length and with multiple entrances. The layout of the burrow can be altered frequently and is not unusual for aardvarks to leave burrows and move on to new homes. So here I am adding a new sign that says KWFR. That's actually because I came up with a name that was quite too long to put on a sign. It's Kenyan Wildlife Facility and Rehabilitation, or KWFR. I used that as short because that's definitely not going to fit on a sign as small as that, and I'm too lazy to use Boogaloo text. Dab. Anyways, as the aardvarks came, the guests started flooding in, and one of the reasons why I'm covering up the gate with plants is because I don't want it to actually have a gate. I learned this in a ZHS Plays tutorial on how to create paths and gates that don't interfere and make it as wild as possible, which I really like, and I suggest you go check it out. So, speaking of food, aardvarks feed almost exclusively on ants and termites and are known to eat around 50,000 in one night. That's a lot. And they can eat plants and often feed on African cucumber known as the aardvark cucumber. That is a fact I actually didn't know. The relationship between aardvarks and aardvark cucumbers is symbiotic, meaning both species benefit. The aardvark gets a source of food and the cucumber benefits as the seeds are released into the environment when the aardvark defecates, which means poop. Back in my olden zoos that I used to play in, a lot of them just kept pooping and making the habitat really dirty. So in the settings, I changed it so they wouldn't poop and they wouldn't die, and their welfare would always be 100%. I guess you could call it cheating, but for me, business. Capitalism. And then I just realized that I covered up the entire shop and signs with rocks. I was kinda not very good at it. So this zoo will be separated in 3 parts: the Congo rainforest, the savannah, and the reptile part. There's gonna be a reptile sign, monkeys and crocodiles for the Congo part, and the elephants, rhinos for the savannah part. So here I am adding a sign called the Congo rainforest. For some reason the wood kinda covered it up, so it looks sort of weird, so it looks like Ongo Rainforest, which is kind of weird. So I'll be dropping off now, and I hope you enjoy this video, as the speed build will be continuing and then the cinematics will come.